His arm was suddenly scorched by something, and he looked up at the sky, dumbfounded, only to see that in space, a strong light burned a big hole in the atmosphere, and the seawater instantly boiled under its irradiation, and even the fish inside were directly vaporized. What was more terrifying was that it was heading straight for the Golden Gate Bridge. The moment it made contact, the steel reinforcements were instantly severed, tires melted on the spot, followed by the bridge being sliced in half. Cars on the bridge plummeted down. However, the disaster did not end there. A bizarre scene was unfolding in the city as well. Pigeons in the square flew chaotically, attacking people in a frenzy, causing panic and a desperate scramble for safety. People were baffled, unable to understand why the normally peaceful pigeons had turned hostile. Just then, Joshua of Top Electromagnetist was leisurely blowing his horn. Seconds later, agents appeared and whisked him away to a secret base. Here he meets his best friend Serge, who is an expert in energetics. Upon entering the base, they found 32 bodies lying around. Thomas appeared, informing them that all these people had died simultaneously. Their only commonality was the pacemakers installed in their bodies. Given the frequency of bizarre incidents, Thomas suspected the involvement of an enemy energy weapon. However, Joshua disagreed, arguing that no weapon could generate such a massive battery pulse. As an expert in electromagnetism, he began to suspect that these events might be linked to magnetic fields. Back at his lab, Joshua delved into research, discovering pigeons rely on Earth's magnetic field for navigation. A malfunction in the magnetic field could trigger a myriad of anomalies on Earth. His further research brought chilling results to light. He urgently shared his findings with Dr. Zimsky at the Department of Defense, warning him that the apocalypse was imminent. He could never have imagined that a spaceship would land right behind him. Just moments ago, the spaceship had entered the atmosphere. However, as it emerged from the clouds, its course veered off. The crew was dumbstruck. Even more dire, they were heading straight for downtown Los Angeles. At the peak of rush hour, a downtown emergency landing would result in an unprecedented catastrophe. With only 2 minutes to landing, Rebecca, with her extensive navigational experience, suggested landing the plane in a river. Despite the high risk, it was the only option. Following orders from command, they headed straight for the river. Thanks to the pilot's skillful maneuvering, they landed successfully. This string of anomalies alerted the higher-ups to the seriousness of the situation. Prompting an urgent meeting, Joshua informed them that Earth had always been protected by an invisible energy field, the electromagnetic field. This field shields Earth from cosmic radiation. Now, due to the sudden cessation of liquid metal flow in the Earth's core, the protective magnetic field was on the brink of disappearance. Without protection, cosmic rays could turn Earth into a charred potato in minutes. They were at a loss for solutions, as reaching the core, with temperatures exceeding 10,000 degrees and a depth of 3,000 miles, was beyond human capability. Human drilling had only reached a depth of 7 miles. How to reach the core became the most pressing issue. Just when all seemed hopeless, Dr. Zimsky mentioned someone who might have a solution. They took a helicopter to a secret warehouse in the desert. There, Brazelton had been waiting with the results of his 20-year research. Upon activating his machine, a dazzling beam of light pierced through the mountain. When the machine ceased, everyone was astounded. A 100-meter-thick mountain had been drilled through, and amazingly, the laser couldn't damage the special material surrounding it. With only 3 months left to save Earth, a $15 billion spaceship began its secret construction. The crew to save the world was assembled: electromagnetic expert Joshua, Captain Brazelton, Dr. Zimsky from the Department of Defense, weapons system expert Serge, and navigation specialist Rebecca. Their mission was to detonate enough TNT in the Earth's core to restart its rotation, with nuclear bombs as a backup. During this period, bizarre events continued worldwide, with lightning storms causing arenas to crumble in an instant. The mission to save Earth became urgent. And the spaceship was completed on schedule. The people did not dare to delay for a moment, and immediately boarded the ship and prepared for action. As the countdown began, the spaceship drilled into the seabed, deepening continuously. They reached 30,000 feet under the sea, where the laser drill was fully charged. Just as they were about to hit the seabed, Brazelton activated the drill. with Command Center anxiously awaiting a signal. Finally, the signal came through, much to everyone's relief. According to Brazelton's estimates, they will reach the core in 24 hours. At 700 miles deep, they encountered a mysterious black area, leaving everyone bewildered. Before they could react, the spaceship drilled into it. After a violent collision, they came to a halt. Unfortunately, a crystal had jammed the drill, forcing them to exit the vessel for repairs. Stepping out, they were greeted by a crystal world, a dreamlike universe deep beneath the Earth's crust, filled with starry seas. Before they could admire the scenery, magma dropped to the ground. Joshua noticed lava pouring in from the entrance, soon cascading down like a waterfall, leaving them with little time. Brazelton's cutter ran out of oxygen, and without a second thought, Joshua plugged his own oxygen into it. Restarting the machine, Joshua fainted from oxygen deprivation, and Rebecca, noticing something was wrong, sent Surge to rescue him. Brazelton successfully cleared the crystal, and Joshua was rescued. With Rebecca activating the switch, the drill restarted, but before they could celebrate, disaster struck. Witnessing a teammate's death, they had no choice but to continue the mission in tears. The journey ahead promised even greater challenges. As they neared the core's edge, a mysterious area appeared again. Dr. Zimski quickly identified it as indestructible diamond. Thanks to Rebecca's piloting skills, they navigated through the area, but trouble was imminent. The next second, the hull was cut by diamonds, leading to damage in the weapon control room. Rebecca ordered everyone to evacuate. With the hatch beginning to close automatically, Surge realized the controller was still inside. In a critical moment, he risked his life to retrieve it. As the hatch closed, he handed the controller to Joshua. Joshua could only watch in despair as the hatch closed. The external pressure threatened to crush the weapons chamber. Joshua ordered Rebecca to open the hatch, but she hesitated, knowing it would destroy the entire ship. With heavy hearts, they could only watch as he sacrificed himself. Then, Dr. Zimski contacted Command Center to initiate the Destiny Plan. The secret seismic weapon, studied by the military, had caused the anomalies in the Earth's magnetic field. Joshua was furious, believing the Destiny Plan would not only fail to save the core but also hasten the apocalypse. Despite this, Command Center informed them that the plan had been approved by the President and ordered their immediate return. However, Joshua and his team decided to continue their mission, infuriating Dr. Zimski. This punch miraculously sparked Dr. Zimski's inspiration. He devised a plan to divide the TNT into 5 parts, to be placed in different chambers and deployed around the core sequentially, to maximize their impact and restart the Earth's core. However, a new problem arose. The ejection mechanism could only be operated manually, and it was located inside a previously damaged chamber, where temperatures reached 4,000 degrees, ensuring that anyone who entered would not survive. Faced with this dire situation, the crew decided to draw lots to determine who would undertake this mission. Brazelton, knowing the spacecraft's design best and thus having the highest chance of success, rigged the draw and volunteered to activate the switch. When he pressed the door switch, a wave of 5,000-degree heat nearly knocked him down, and the tool in his hand melted instantly. Every step was excruciatingly difficult, but driven by a strong sense of mission, he managed to open the valve with his last bit of strength. Rebecca had to suppress her grief and press the ejection switch. There was no time for sorrow. They had to complete the mission quickly. Joshua and Dr. Zimski began timing the detonation of the nuclear bombs in each chamber. As the chambers were successfully ejected, the mission was progressing smoothly, but as they were about to detonate the last bomb, they realized its yield was insufficient to restart the core. Then, disaster struck again. An energy blast hit the spacecraft. The falling nuclear bomb pinned Joshua down, with no reply from them, and Dr. Zimski unable to move the bomb. Rebecca's quick maneuvering freed Joshua, but the bomb headed straight for Dr. Zimski. With 10 seconds left to ejection, Dr. Zimski's leg was pinned by the bomb. Facing the closing hatch, Dr. Zimski pushed Joshua out of the chamber and sacrificed himself. Joshua had no time to mourn. He needed to find more energy to complete the mission. He thought of using the spaceship's reactor. Even though it meant he couldn't return to the surface, he decided to sacrifice himself to ensure the mission's completion. With the last chamber successfully deployed, the spacecraft completely lost power. The nuclear bomb exploded at that moment. The temperature surged, and Joshua realized he could use the high temperature of the lava to recharge the spaceship. As the explosion restarted the core, the rescue mission was finally completed. Joshua and Dr. Zimski used the remaining energy to start their escape, eventually returning to the surface at maximum speed. Soon, the command center received the spacecraft's signal. Hours later, they safely returned to the seabed, but the spacecraft was paralyzed due to the loss of thermal energy from the lava. The Department of Defense immediately launched a rescue operation, but they were initially unable to trace them. At that moment, the crew received an ultrasonic signal, initially mistaken for a whale, but the captain realized it was a distress signal sent by Joshua using whale sounds, finally allowing them to be located. The film ends here, leaving the audience with a profound message. Let's hope we never witness the disasters depicted in the movie, as protecting the Earth is everyone's responsibility.